This is the new Suzuki Swift. It's got a new redesigned body, a new engine, oops, a new interior with updated tech. And there are some other changes too, but I'll tell you about those later. And at the end of the video, I'll give you my verdict on this car and tell you about another car that I would rather have over this. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching CarWow. The new Suzuki Swift is a bit of a strange looking car. So I do like the front bumper and the new lights. What I'm not so sure about is the bonnet design. It's almost like the lid of a teapot. That's very British of me, wasn't it? Moving down the side, there's two alloy wheel designs. They're all 16 inches. This being the top spec car has the diamond cut alloys, otherwise you get painted alloys. I quite like these creases they've got going on the bodywork. Though this section of the car here sort of reminds me of a Mini from about 2 generations ago. Moving to the rear, I do like the back end on this car. It's got some boot, it's got some width to it, even though it's still actually a small car. Also, I really like the fact that you've got a wide range of colour choices. You know, most cars are just boring, like grey or grey or grey. Look at the colour choices on this car. Nice. I'm not the biggest fan of the inside of the Suzuki Swift. The design seems to have quite a lot of like shapes, curves and different materials going on all over the place. And if you don't like the light coloured trim there, no, it's too bad. It comes as standard on all cars. I'm not a fan of this. Is the huge bezel on the infotainment system. Now more on the infotainment system a little later on, but I am glad that the climate controls are separate. Look, you have physical buttons, which makes them easy to use when you're driving. In terms of storage space, well, you've got a little storage area there where I'll keep the key for the car. You've got cup holders here. They're quite big actually. Like you can you? No, I'm just eating my words now. You can't quite fit a bigger bottle in. There's a tray there for your mobile phone, and you got your USB-C charging ports there. That's odd. So we've got USB old there, USB-C there, then another one that says USB, and that's under there. I actually think this one here must be for the connection to your infotainment system, and then under here there's a 12-volt socket. Anyway, let's continue. Glove box is an alright size. Door bins, come on, you can fit the big fat bottle in there, can't you? Ooh, and they're big and useful, those door bins. Finally, I like the fact there's plenty of adjustment in the steering wheel, so it's easy to get an ideal driving position. The Suzuki Swift starts from £19,200. This top spec ultra model actually starts from £20,300. So you can save an average of £750 off a new Suzuki Swift through CarWow. However, what happens if you don't want to buy one and you'd rather lease one instead? Well, this is how much it will cost you for a 24-month lease. What we should do now though is compare the cost of this car to its main competitors. But what happens if you don't want to actually buy a new car, you'd rather have a used one? Well, I found this 1-year-old used car alternative to this on CarWow. Now to check out the best new car, lease or used car deals, head to CarWow now. Just click on the pop-out banner in the top right hand corner of the screen or scanning the QR code on screen now. The Suzuki Swift is an affordable car, but does it feel a bit cheap and nasty? Let's find out. I'm going to give you a POV of some of the materials. So they're a bit scratchy and, well, cheap. However, this bit is fabric, but it hasn't really got any padding. Now if you move in here, yeah, everything that I'm touching is scratchy, hard plastics, and this centre console isn't the most solid. Look, it's got a bit of wobble on it. However, it's not all bad. So the seat fabric's really nice and the seats are comfortable. You get a leather steering wheel as standard, and that feels nice, as does the leather gear knob. And the thing that I really like, I mean, sometimes on cars, the stalks can feel really cheap, but these are quite expensive feeling, nicely damped, and actually way better than on a BMW that's more than 3 or 4 times the price. So considering how much this car costs, not bad at all. Though I do think the interior of a Peugeot 208 does feel a little bit nicer. If you want to watch my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner up there or scan the QR code on screen now. The infotainment system on this car is pretty basic. The screen graphics are a bit like dull, and there's quite a bit of lag going on with it. Come on. There you go. But it's got all the functions you really need, like your satellite navigation, your music stuff, driving information, and look, anyway, you've got Android Auto and I haven't actually got it, Apple CarPlay. So Oh dear, come on. Then over here, you've got good old-fashioned analog dials, which give you all the information you need. I like them. And then in the middle, you've got a little digital screen. Once again, it's not very bright, but it's got a lot of detail. Look, so we've got speed there, and then you've got your MPGs, economy, and some more information like that. Quite a lot of information. There's your clock. What's this? It's like a G meter, torque and power, acceleration and brake. Oh, and this is interesting. It shows the power distribution. So this is actually a mild hybrid. So you've got a motor and a little battery. It's mainly there to just improve your economy, really, rather than provide performance, because it only delivers an extra 3 horsepower to the total system output. Here in the back of the Suzuki Swift is actually quite spacious for a small car. Knee room's decent. Headroom's decent, even people over 6 foot will be fine. The footwells are quite roomy too, and you can slide your feet underneath the chair in front, which does make you feel nice and comfortable. Now, it's terrible at carrying 3 in the back at once because it's quite narrow, so you're not going to want to do that unless you absolutely have to. And when it comes to fitting a child seat, it's not too bad to manoeuvre the seat into the back because the doors open quite wide here in the rear, but you will have to move the front seat forward to get it into position. The ISOFIX anchor points are very easy to get to though. Anyhow, things that I do like include the fact the seats are reasonably comfy. The door bins, they're not so good though because you can only really fit that size of bottle in there, and there's absolutely no USB-C connectivity here in the back for anyone. I do like this though, the rear windows go almost all the way down apart from that bit. That's fine because you can just, yeah, like that. One of the weak points of the Suzuki Swift is its boot because it's small even by small car standards. You've got 265 litres of space, which I think is one of the tiniest in this class. It's even got a tiny load cover, look, it's very small. I'll just put that down over there. There we go. There is quite a bit of a load lip to lift stuff over as well. The car's boot seems to be quite low down, so it's not too bad when loading it, and the opening is reasonably wide, and to be fair, the shape is quite square and useful. When it comes to loading bigger items, obviously you're going to have to fold down the rear seats, and yeah, there is this big ridge, so you can't just slide things. Either going to do that, or you're going to have to walk around and load them in this way. And this brings me on to another problem. The seat belts there, they're kind of just always attached to the seat back, so then you're having to like work things around them, and that brings on to 5 annoying things about the Suzuki Swift. As we all know, most new cars have too many warning sounds. This one is warning me that the door's open, which I can see. Thank you, car. Anyway, what's especially annoying about the Suzuki Swift is that if I want to turn off the excess speed warning, which of course you do, I have to press and hold both these buttons together, wait for a bit for it to register and bring up this menu. Come on, there it is. Scroll down with this other button, go into excess speed warning method, no notification. Now imagine if you forget to do that before you leave on your journey, you're going to have to pull over to do it. It's so hard you can't do it when you're driving. One of the clear signs that this is a car built down to a price is the noise of the electric windows. Sounds cheap, doesn't it? One of the things that really annoys me about my own Suzuki, which is a Jimny, is this. Unlike with many other cars, you don't have an auto opening for your filler cap. For some reason, on many Japanese cars, they like you to open them manually, that with this little lever here. I don't know why they do that. No one else does. Yeah, there we go, brilliant. Another example of being built to a budget is this, look. While you have some nice big vanity mirrors on both sides, neither are illuminated, so you won't really be able to see yourself in the dark. Well, I do like the fact that we've got a reversing camera. There is no washer for it, and as you can see, look here, it's really, really dirty, so you're going to have to wipe it with your finger. Also, to be brutally honest, the image produced by that camera is so washed out, it's terrible. It's like some old mobile phone from the noughties. And that actually brings me on to 5 good things about the Suzuki Swift. So all models are very well equipped and come with that reversing camera as standard. You also get on all models heated seats and even adaptive cruise control, which will keep you a safe distance from the car in front, and lane keeping assist. Not bad. Believe it or not, you can actually get a 4-wheel drive version of the little Suzuki Swift, which makes it quite unique. It's called the All Grip, and it also has an extra 25mm ground clearance, so you can do a little bit of off-roading in it. This car is really economical. Now, Suzuki says it'll do 64 miles to the gallon. We've actually had this car for 6 months and averaged an impressive 57 miles to the gallon. To be fair, in my hands, while I've been razzing it around to review it, I've been in the 30s, though still quite decent, really. The Suzuki Suzuki Swift comes with a 3-year warranty. However, if you get it serviced at a Suzuki dealership, they will extend it to 7 years, but you have to keep going back to the Suzuki dealership to get your warranty extended every single year, otherwise it sort of expires. I love the fact that most Japanese cars, unlike European ones, tend to have quick release backrests. So you just pull up a lever and look, whee, get into the position you want without having to do lots of kind of light dial winding. Ah, perfect. Oh, that's it. Yeah, no, there, yeah, lovely. Choosing which Suzuki Swift to go for is relatively simple because there are just 2 trim levels and only 1 engine choice, and that is a 1.2 litre naturally aspirated 3-cylinder with 82 horsepower. You can get a 5-speed manual gearbox or an automatic, and there is also that all-wheel drive version I've already mentioned. But which version of the Suzuki Swift should you go for? So I've actually configured my favourite car through the CarWow configurator. If you want to find out what the trim level is and whether I went auto or whatever, click on the pop-out banner up there or scan the QR code on screen now to go to CarWow, or follow the link in the description of this video. Anyway, let's check out the performance of this little engine. Suzuki says this car will do 0 to 60 in 12.5 seconds. I'm going to time it for myself. Let's launch it. Here we go. The wheel spin. Off we go. Come on, little engine. It's working hard. Blimey. 10.8. It's not bad really, is it? Now we're going to see how well the car stops from 60 miles an hour. Ideally, we want it to do it around 35 metres. Anything over 40 would be bad. Let's go for it. Here we go. Come on, little car, stop. 38 metres, so okay, but not amazing. This little Suzuki Swift is perfect for driving around town. The controls are nice and light, the gear shift, the clutch, the brakes are smooth, steering's light. The only thing is that the suspension can feel a little bit sharp occasionally when you hit a bigger bump, but it's not bad at all. Visibility is all right, so you've got a decent sized windscreen and a good view out the back window, but these pillars are thick, and this area here just seems a little bit kind of enclosed. Bit of a shame that. What I can't fault though is the manoeuvrability. So the turning circle on this car is 9.6 metres, which is not beaten by any of its competitors. I mean, just so manoeuvrable. Look, I'm going to do U-turn here. Look, whee. Yeah, I think that lady was surprised that I could turn so tightly in that space. You wouldn't be able to in your Mercedes, would ya? No, feeling smug in my sensible little car. Where this Suzuki Swift can feel a little bit lacking is when you're going at higher speed. So look, let's say I'm going to join a dual carriageway, I'm at 40 miles an hour, 3rd gear, roll on, floor it, try to get up to 70. Now, because this engine doesn't have a turbocharger, it lacks the punch of some smaller cars that do. And then when you are going at speed, it's quite a noisy car. Apparently they've fitted more insulation to it than the previous version, but I'm not noticing it. I wouldn't say it's terrible though. I could just about live with it. But you don't want to do loads of long journeys in this thing. Do you know what? I really like driving this little Suzuki Swift. It just has a sense of fun about it. It's all down to the fact it's light, and that makes it nimble, agile and responsive. It also handles pretty well, so it grips okay in the bends, doesn't lean too much either, and it's precise. It's a fun little car. It's got charm, it's got character. My only complaint is that when you're going a little bit quick and you're changing gears, you can get like this surging effect as the clutch engages, but other than that, I like it. So then what's my final verdict on the Suzuki Swift? Should you avoid it, consider it, shortlist it, or just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist it. It's a really good little car. However, there is another small car I would have instead of it, and it is the Renault Clio, because through CarWow you can save around £3,000 off one, and that means that like for like, the Clio works out cheaper than the Swift, and it's slightly better, so a bit of a no-brainer.